Today it's the launch of 3's long-awaited and much hyped 5G mobile service launch. And to test it out, today I'm in Grimsby, a northeast Lincolnshire fishing town, which also happens to have a 5G site in the town centre, which you'll be able to see right behind me here. And that's the site I'm going to be testing out today. This site is very high end for 3. It's had the full Huawei rebuild, complete with massive MIMO for 5G with AAU 5614s, and then the full 40x 4G rebuild with LOA, L14, L18 and L21. Where I'm stood right now, I'm in fairly terrible conditions between two sectors. However, I'm still getting 4 layers, anywhere between about 120 and 250 megabits per second, depending exactly on the beams and configuration I get. Because I'm so between sectors, it's inevitable that the RF conditions will be fluctuating wildly. The easiest place to get in bore sight of this site is pretty much down the main high street. And here we're once again getting between about 150 and about 250 megabits per second with between 3 and 4 layers. Now it's important to note with this site that it's 40 megahertz because it's a very backhaul constrained site, and therefore they have it running at not the full 100 megahertz that some of the, say, inner city London sites have. But it's very nice to see here we have our multiple beams, which is very good, and also that we're getting 4 layers very easily with 256 cram. Also on the anchor side of things, we're getting multiple carriers, although of course it's not scheduling very much because it 48 meg there actually, because it sees the NR carrier as pretty much free real estate. So this is the third sector of the site, and depending on where exactly I hold the phone, getting anywhere from about 160 megabits per second up to about 250. So all in all, performance off this site has not been bad at all, despite the shared MEAS backhaul, which will be massively constraining performance and being the reason that they have 40 megahertz on the site. So now let's look at some much better backhaul sites which are emitting the full 100 megahertz of 5G bandwidth. Firstly, let's go to Ashton under Lyne, where Derico tested this very high rooftop mounted 3 5G site and got very nice speeds off the 100 megahertz. This screenshot is only 2 streams due to signal conditions, but we're still getting speeds in excess of 600 megabits per second. Similarly, in Cardiff, Jake went out and tested a site a bit out from the city centre and was also getting speeds nicely over 600 megabits per second. On Twitter, Brendan at Wildlime has got the best numbers that I've recently seen, with 1.2 gigabits per second on an HTC Hub 5G and then 852 megabits per second with a very nice latency of 12 milliseconds here on a Samsung Galaxy S20. Now these sites will undoubtedly have incredibly good backhaul going to them, which is why the speeds are as high as they are. Just some final technical details to note. From the word go, 3 have supported inter-site mostly between the 5G sites and other Huawei swapped 4G sites. So you can get your 5G from one of these flagship sites and then get the 4G anchor from the nearest 4G site to you if it's been swapped to Huawei. This improves the 5G continuity and makes the customer experience more stable. And it also means that more customers can get the 5G uplift, which is something that is very important. In terms of the anchor configuration supported, on the devices that myself, Derico and Jake were using to survey OnePlus 7 Pro 5Gs, the modem supports either 1 or 3 with 44R as anchor for the N78, or it can do 1 and 3 both with 44R plus N78, or it can do band 3 plus band 32, with both being 2T2R as anchor. There may be other possibilities, but these are just the ones that we've seen on 3 so far. And finally, I would like to thank Jake and Derico for surveying some of the 100 MHz sites and therefore helping to make this video. Derico has recently started his own YouTube channel where he will be putting out videos about mobile networks, amongst potentially other things as well. And yeah, please check that out and subscribe. I will include a link in the card and in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.